The loonie could be in for a big change. In response to a surge in online shopping, the Bank of Canada is speeding up its development of a digital currency. So what does that mean for our money? Joining me to find out is the director of the Osgood Investor Protection Clinic, Poonam Puri. Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning, Ben.
So most Canadians are already used to digital money in the form of debit cards, credit cards. How different is a digital loonie?
A digital loonie will be quite different than using your credit card. There's no credit involved. You'd have a fully funded digital wallet that would be, and the cash, the digital cash would be transferred immediately to the vendor when you're making a purchase. That's quite different than credit card transactions. The other important thing is that not everyone has access to credit, and the digital loonie would be accessible to all Canadians.
So what would a digital loonie mean for paper and hard currency?
So a digital loonie would not be, the plan is not to replace hard paper bills or physical coins that might be in your pocket, but really to be there as an additional offering of the Bank of Canada when they decide to launch them. So it would be an addition, but it's also recognizing that we are using physical cash a lot less so than we have in the past, and COVID-19 has obviously accelerated that.
There's actually a cost associated with not having a digital currency. Ernst & Young estimates that what they call slow payments cost Canadian businesses up to $6.5 billion a year. So how would something like a digital loonie address that issue?
Okay, so it's a really good point. So slow payments from the perspective of the vendor are a real problem. It can take days or sometimes weeks for vendors to receive payment, which obviously then delays what they do next. If vendors can receive payment instantaneously, as they could through a digital loonie transaction, that is going to be beneficial for commerce.
Facebook is moving forward with its digital currency. It's called DM. Google, Apple, they're increasingly entering into the payment space. How is the Bank of Canada going to make the digital loonie more appealing than all these alternatives out there?
So I think there's a couple of reasons. One is it's going to be accessible to all Canadians, regardless of which part of the country you might live in and what sort of internet access you may or may not have. The second piece is the Bank of Canada's digital loonie is going to focus on the public good, on the public interest, whereas obviously these private entities are going to focus on what's good for them. And related to that is that there are some significant privacy concerns that we might have about these large entities and competition issues as well, whereas I think those can be addressed through a Bank of Canada issued digital currency.
This is the first I'm learning of the digital loonie. It seems to me, it sounds like it's like the opposite of cryptocurrency.
It is a digital payment system. It is going to be in public hands. It is going to be stable and secure. Private cryptocurrencies, private digital currencies don't have the same safety and security as digital currencies that are backed by a central bank.
And when could we see a digital loonie come into circulation?
So my team at the University of Toronto and we think it's going to be a couple of years. It's certainly not going to be weeks or months, Ben.
Last question, and I thought about this when we were talking off the top. How is this experience for the user any different than using a debit card?
So that's a really good point. I think there are some important similarities. I think the advent and the interest of the Bank of Canada and other central banks in terms of considering the issuance of a digital currency is really focused on trying to balance out concerns in terms of the private digital currency providers, less so concerned about debit transactions that we might all be used to.
Poonam Puri, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.